And a very good morning. It's Mark here. It is January the 27th, 8 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. GMT. US session now underway. And following up from last week, very interesting where we sit right now, starting on the US dollar index, and have a look how the sell-off has continued from last week. Last week, we saw, and it was probably the outstanding feature of the new Trump term, was the weakness in the US dollar. The US dollar was sold off really strong, and that's continuing going into the new week. Closed last week at 107.25 already. We've broken below that 107 level, sitting at 106.81, as you can see. Also, bear in mind, though, that what we did see and have gotten used to over the past few weeks is a turnaround in the US session. We have seen weak, be it US dollar, be it the S&P, all the major instruments that we follow, we have seen the trends turn, the trends reverse. We are following the Asian, European sessions when the US session does get started. But for now, certainly the weak US dollar trend and the bias is down, the US dollar sell-off is continuing, and we are below that 107 number. Let's look at S&P, bearing in mind that we are about an hour and a half away from Wall Street opening. And wow. So end of last week closed at 6,132, a big gap lower to start this week, opened at 6,100, as low already, and this is, bear in mind, pre-market trading, 5,950. That's below that all-important 6,000 level, and that's where we're sitting now. There it is, exactly at that pivotal 6,000 level. But you can see that buyers did step in at this low here, 5,950, to bring it back to the 6,000 level, both going in the same direction, both being the US dollar and the S&P. We know there's usually an inverse relationship there that hasn't played out yet, but US session underway now. We're looking for reversals. We're looking for whether the pre-US session trends will continue or if there's going to be a turnaround. For now, S&P 500 certainly still showing strong downtrend, as you can see. And let's see in an hour's time how the market behaves once Wall Street is open. Commodities, looking at gold. A bit of a sell-off today. A gap down to start the week. You can see that closed last week at 2,771 after making that high of 2,783. We're now sitting at 2,761. Red candlestick, daily candlestick showing the close lower than the open. However, in my opinion, the trend is very much still up. Buyers could be looking at resistance at the 2,784. Again, the inverse relationship with gold and US dollar might well play out. Let's see how US dollar performs, and that could well dictate the direction of gold through the US session. Oil was sold off strong last week. We saw Brent really get sold off throughout the week. Have a look at that. Strong downtrend. To start this week, there was a gap lower. That $77 is where we closed last week. Opened this new trading week at 76.56, but buyers seem to be wanting to fight its way back a little bit higher, around the same levels that it closed last week at that $77. Buyers will be looking to break above that 77, and of course sellers looking to come and test the open at 76.56. But to all intents and purposes, even though it's a green candle, trend is down. We've got lower highs and lower lows to start the US session. Bitcoin. Wow. That's Bitcoin for you. Uh, Closed last week at 102,000. Last week, Bitcoin was very strong, set a new record high at $109,000. But then towards the end of the week, the buyers did turn down, closed the week at 102,000. There it is, you can see. So the sell-off was towards the end of last week. That certainly carried on to start this new week, and very much so. Look how below the 100,000 mark, all the way down in today's trading to 97,700. Buyers stepped in strong, back at that 100,000, 101,000, 6,000, $6,000 trading range to start things, to get things going. Wow. We have to, when we're trading Bitcoin, just bear in mind these moves are strong, they're volatile, they're haphazard. It's fine to trade wonderful opportunities, but give some breathing room to your trades is what I suggest. Can't keep it too tight because it could get stopped out, even though the trend might well go in the direction that you are choosing. But for now, sitting at that 101,000, today's resistance 103,000. If buyers do continue this move upwards, we've got 104,000, and then the 106, 107,000, which has proved to be a strong resistance through last year. That's the level that buyers will be looking to retest. Sellers will want to keep price action below that all-important $100,000 mark. Good trading, guys. Keep that discipline. I will see you at the end of day session. Good trading.